Da 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 da. Theme music. Hi everyone, long time no see. It's the last time I made a video was almost 2 years ago. Uh, because despite the fact that uh, these videos aren't that interesting and they go on way too long and no one ever bothers to finish them, people are always like, "When are you going to put up another video?" It makes no sense, but people keep asking me about it, so I decided that tonight I would have a few drinks after work and make another one. So here I am. The reason that I don't make a lot of these is because I want them to be interesting and to be talking about new things, and nothing ever happens to me, so there's really no point in making them. Uh, Aside from the fact that, as you can see, uh, I have a new set for the show because I moved out of the basement and now live upstairs above ground, uh, where sunlight comes in and makes me feel better and wakes me up and is just it's just nice up here. There's no holes in the walls. I have yet to have a goddamn mouse land near me while being up here. They don't just run around on my walls like what was happening downstairs in the basement. Uh, so it's really nice up here, and I'm glad to be up here. But that's really just the only thing that's changed in the almost 2 years since I did my last video. Uh, but people keep asking about it, so I've been thinking for a while about what to do a video about, and I just sort of landed. I don't want to upset people that I care about with these videos. It's not my intention to create drama in my life by making these things, but I also don't want these videos to just be insincere and not talk about things that upset me, because that's the whole point of them, is to me rant about things that annoy me. So I've been thinking for a while about what to make a video about, and the other day I was scrolling through Facebook and I was just getting upset about post after post. So I was like, you know what? Here we fucking go. Here's the thing that I need to be talking about. There's a lot of people uh, on Facebook right now that are upset about everything going on in the world, and I totally get it because the world is awful. But specifically, this video is going to be about uh, girls posting things on Facebook that I read them and I go, no, you're not allowed to post these things. Facebook has this um, feature where if you upload a picture of yourself, Facebook will be like, hey, we think this is you, and we think this is your friend that you hang out with, and these are some of your other friends, and you know we've fucking cracked it. Like, we can figure out faces now, and we think that this is who everyone is, and you want to tag everyone, and you go, Facebook, thank you. This is a super convenient slash incredibly creepy feature that you've figured out. So yes, I'll take advantage of it and tag all my friends. You know who everyone is. So when girls write things about, and I'm going to let you fill in the blank on this one because I know that you can. A girl will start a Facebook status with something along the lines of, I think it's hilarious when, and then you can fill in the rest of it. And it's normally complaining about some other girls that they see and are like, aren't these girls ridiculous? And I think Facebook should have this thing where it's like, hey, do you want to tag yourself in this? Because based off of everything else that you've put on Facebook over the years, the stuff that we've acquired, we are fairly certain that this fucking is you. And so, do you want to tag yourself in it, you hypocritical bitch? That's the wording that should be there for it, because it's crazy to me when you read something on Facebook and you read it the first time and you're like, yeah, you go like, yeah, that's a good point. And then you read it again, and you're like, yeah, it's still a good point. But why is the person who's writing this feeling that they have a right to write it? It makes no sense. So that's potentially what this is going to be about. We're going to find out as the video goes on. We're 5 minutes in. If a stranger read just went through the news feed, I think they'd be like, Nat, you must be friends with a lot of strong, independent women who don't take shit from anyone, who just stand up for themselves in any situation. I'd be like, I'd love to say that that's the case. But unfortunately, I'm friends with a lot of people on Facebook who make incredibly poor decisions, who are simply just attracted to douchebags and just repeat the same mistakes over and over again, while at the same time seeing motivational quotes here, there, everywhere, and posting it to give the impression that they themselves stand up for themselves and won't take shit from anyone. And hey, look at me, it's 2015, and I'm just fucking awesome or whatever. Meanwhile, they are just so afraid to be alone that they just want to just be with anyone who's a big enough douchebag to hang out with them. And speaking of douchebags, and I'm not excusing douchebags because I fucking hate them, but I think if you look over the course of history, women have played a huge part in what culture is. Whatever it is that they are into, guys sort of conform to it for the sake of getting in it. And this has been the case for thousands of years. You look at it like Helen of Troy, and like a war started over this chick. This is men do what they have to in order to get the girl that they want. So women today are like, I'm into douchebags. So then guys go, well, then I guess I'll be a douchebag. I'm not defending douchebags. I'm just saying I get why it is that they do what they do. They do it because it works. You can't ignore the stats that clearly they must be. They figured it out. They cracked the case. They're all up in it. So that's why they do what they do. On the flip side of that, I've been alone for a very, very long time. 5 years is a long time. It's a very long time. It sucks. It's terrible. I hate it. I wish it would end. But, here we are. For those of you wondering what it's like to be alone for 5 years, imagine that you're drowning, but you can't die. That's sort of what it's like. Now, also imagine that not only are you drowning, but it's in an aquarium where people come and visit. So you're trapped in this tank, and you can't breathe, and you can't get out, and people show up to look at you struggling. That's basically what it's like to be alone for 5 years. It's just people watching you desperately trying to escape or get some sort of air, but it doesn't happen, and you just want to die, and it won't happen. That's basically what it's like to be alone for as long as I've been alone. And I totally get why people would not want to have it happen to them. People are alone for 3 days, and you have that conversation with them where they're like, I'm going to be alone forever because I've been alone these 3 days, and this is just how it's going to be. And you go, no, it's not going to be like that because that's not how it works for people. And most of the time you'd be right by saying that's not how it works for people. And, like 3 days after these 3 days of them being alone, uh, you hear that, I met someone and I'm so happy. Like, this is the game changer. Like, I've never met anyone like this before. And you go, good for you. This probably is going to work out. But, remember that whole thing when you thought you were going to be alone forever? Clearly that's not the case because of what just fucking happened. And, oh my God, that was almost a week of you having to be alone. That must have been awful. When my relationship ended 5 years ago, I was like, I don't want this to end because I don't want to be alone. And that's a really bad reason to try and stay in a relationship, by the way. And I realize that now. You don't want to be in a relationship out of the fear of being alone. Uh, and at the time, I was like, I don't want to be alone. Everyone was like, you're not going to be alone. Things are different now. Now that you've experienced a relationship, people will look at you differently and things will be different. That was 5 years ago, and the only thing that we've learned since then is that I am painfully right all the time and everyone else is wrong. So in my case, yes, you can in fact be alone after a relationship ends, but this is not the case for everyone else. Everyone else finds someone else and they move on and they deal with that brief fucking almost nothing time of being alone that they act like it's in the world and they act like they're going to be alone forever, and it lasts less than a week and then they find some other deed to land on and they're fine. I'm not, complaining that this happens for other people. I think that it should work that way. I just don't want them to come to me about it because I just want to hit them when they say things like that because of everything that's happened to me. But I want to give some words of encouragement, if I could, in this video. It's been 5 years, and I am still here. I am still alive. And it just goes to show you that being alone is not the end of the world, the way that some people make it out to be. I love to be in a relationship, and I'm not going to say like some people are single and they feed you a bunch of lies about I love being single and all that stuff. It's not true. It's never true. Everyone loves the idea of coming home to someone at the end of the day. Just having someone that you share what happened to you that day. And you go to bed and you wake up in the morning and that person is next to you. And then you go about your day and then you come back and you have this person there to talk to you about what happened to you that day. I had it for a very brief part of my life. It didn't last very long. There was a lot of other things that made that experience not great, but that simple idea of person at the end of the day to talk to share with, to person to sleep beside you, to that person who you wake up to, that was very nice, and I still miss it after all these years, despite the fact that it was definitely without a doubt a very bad idea to be in a relationship. But as much as we may criticize that relationship, it's the only relationship that I've had. So, take that for what it's worth. Does that make sense? So that's what I had to say about what it's like to be alone for as long as I've been alone. You will be okay if that ended up being what happened to you, but it's not going to be what happened to you, so please stop talking to me about it. I just feel that a lot of people are in relationships or in extremely temporary things because of the fear that comes from the idea of being alone. And I'm just saying that being alone is not the worst thing in the world. And I think a lot of people need to spend more time alone because so many people, I think, wrap decide that their happiness is based off of whether or not they're with someone. And you can't let your happiness be dictated by someone else, especially if that other person is a douchebag or a bitch, whoever. You have to figure your own shit out. You need to figure out what makes you happy, regardless of other people being around. You need to figure out like who you are individually. And so many people just jump from relationship to relationship because they don't want to take that time to figure out who they are, because they're afraid of who they are, because they're worried that they are just always going to be a mess, and they always have to be a part of something, you know, with someone else. And it's a great idea to be with someone else, but unless you know who you are in that mix, I don't think it works. This coming from someone who's had very little relationship, time, experience, all those things. This is the observations of someone who's been, on the other side of the fence for a very long time. I watch, I'm forced to watch these games play out, but I am never involved in them. I'm simply an observer watching on the other side. That's my role, my punishment, my curse, whatever you want to call it. I know what I call it. Is to just watch this and be like, this whole thing is stupid. So I guess that's kind of what I wanted to talk about in this video. I know it's been a while since I've raptured all of you, and I don't think it's a particularly funny subject to talk about. But that's just what I wanted to get off my chest is, there's always a talk of like giving someone the advice like you deserve better than the situation that you're in, whatever it is. And it's a nice thing to say to someone, and you want it to be true. But you only deserve what you really, truly deserve. If you are willing to put up with a bunch of bullshit from someone, then that is what you deserve. It'd be nice to say that you deserve better, but until you act like you deserve better, until you're not willing to put up with bullshit anymore, technically, really, truly, you don't deserve better. You just deserve what you have happening to you because you're allowing it to happen. That might sound harsh, but really, it's true. Like, you have to decide, like, and you can't be like, I deserve better than this, then do it. Act like you deserve better than it, follow through on it, and not just have it be a mantra that you say to yourself in the mirror that you deserve better, because that's just not cutting it. Enough of that, and these videos go on for long enough anyway. I turned 30 this year. I'm not looking forward to it, but I feel like another video will come out when we get to that fucking milestone of a life experience during 30. So yeah, I can end this now and say, hey, I made a video under 20 minutes. Look at me. So there we go. You people wanted a fucking video, so I made one for you, and you can watch it and discuss it and leave me comments about what you disagree with and whatever. So anyway, this has been another exciting, riveting episode of Nat Drinks and Talks About Stuff. Thank you very much. Cheers.